Alright, welcome to our channel. This is Archie the Cockatiel and I am Archie's mom Stacy, and today we are in the kitchen cooking with Archie. You want to tell them what we're going to make today? Yeah? That all sounds very delicious. That all sounds very delicious. Alright. You ready to get started? Alright, so today we are going to be making some chop. Now we're going to have lots of vegetables. We're also going to have some quinoa in the chop, as well as some rolled oats and some raspberries and blackberries. So that way we have some fruit in there as well. Archie is very excited. Now, as far as the cooking part goes, when I cook anything on the stove, Archie is not actually in here, but I use the microwave to cook most everything, so there's no danger there, so he will be fine. And then I'll keep the knife up where he can't get a hold of that, so he'll still be safe in the kitchen with me. It's important, if you do have your bird in the kitchen, that you make sure that the stove is off, there's nothing hot that they could accidentally land in, and then no knives laying around that they can get into as well. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is get our quinoa started. I use this pasta cooker from Pampered Chef to prepare the quinoa and noodles for our dinners. So I'm going to go ahead and get the quinoa started because that takes quite a while to cook in the microwave. Alright, so what I'm going to do is put in a cup of quinoa. And 2 cups of water. And now that the water and the quinoa are in here, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the microwave for 20 minutes. And now the next thing we're going to do is get our fruits and vegetables ready and get those washed up so that they're nice and clean. Now with fruits and vegetables, it's best to get organic when possible. I wouldn't stress out if you can't find something organic. It's just best that you use organic if possible. Now that I've got my quinoa in the microwave, I've got my fruits and vegetables here. I'm going to go ahead and get those washed. Alright, so here we have our vegetables. We have our carrot, we have some Brussels sprouts, we have zucchini, we have red pepper, we have broccoli, and we have fresh kale. Now all of the vegetables are going to be steamed in the micro steamer. I'm going to leave the kale and the berries raw when I add those. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this chopped up. I'm not going to use the whole red bell pepper for this round of chop. My canary Toodles really likes bell pepper, so some of this will be used for the chop, and then some of this will get sliced for her, and I'll store it in the fridge so that I can give her a slice every day. So let's go ahead and get all of these vegetables cut and ready to go in the micro steamer. for the micro steamer, you just put a little bit of water in it because it's gonna steam it. So you don't need to add a bunch of water because we're obviously not boiling it. And then with the Brussels sprouts, I cut off the very end. So they don't get that part, they just get the good part. And I have that vegetable steamer that I used to use. This one here. The problem is everything has to lay flat in this tray, and you just can't fit as much in it as this nice big pot does. So that's why I have decided to start using this micro cooker. And I got this from Pampered Chef as well. I'll have links for everything in the description box as far as like utensils and things go. And the kale I like to leave raw, so I'm just gonna cut that into pieces once I get everything else ready. And we just put this on the lid of the micro cooker, and then it's ready to go in the microwave as soon as our quinoa is done. So this nutritional guide has some good information as far as why I chose the vegetables that I did. So for instance, broccoli is an antioxidant, it has intestinal cleansers, it's an antiviral, antibiotic, stimulates liver function and lowers blood pressure. Brussels sprouts are really healthy. So with those, the book says that the benefits are bone building, vitamin K, boosts immune system with vitamin C, improves brain health, balances blood sugar, restores digestive health, and it's lower in oxalates. For carrot, it cleanses liver, it has a high source of antioxidants, encourages detoxing. For bell pepper, it says that it contains vitamin A, which is a nutrient essential to a bird's immune system, kidneys, skin, and feathers. And then kale is great because it supports metabolism and digestion. It detoxes stomachs. Archie's enjoying the kale over here while I talk about it. It supports metabolism and digestion, Archie. It's going to detox your stomach, stimulate your immune system. It kills bacteria and viruses. It's a potent antioxidant. It promotes pro-inflammatory omega-6 and anti-inflammatory omega-3 balance. So you're eating very healthy there, mister. Is that good? So sometimes I'll also put Swiss chard in my chop as well, or rainbow chard, but the grocery store was out of both of those, so we're just sticking with kale as our green today. But some other things that you can add in your chop, or that I've added in my chop, is apple. You have to be careful with that though, because if you're going to put it through the food processor, apple can really wet the mix, and you need to add something to counteract that. Like rolled oats can help kind of dry it out a bit if it gets too wet. I'm trying berries. I haven't put those in before, the blackberries and the raspberries, so I'm not sure if it's going to do the same thing as apple. I don't think it will, because like blackberry has a bit of crunch to it, so I don't think it's going to be as soft as the apple is, but we'll find out, and I can always add the oats to it to try to counteract that if it makes it too wet. Another thing that I'll sometimes add to my chop is corn. My birds really like yellow corn. I like to use fresh corn just because that's what I prefer to eat, so I like to give my birds the best ingredients that I can. So I like to cut the corn off of the cob and put it in there. You can also use frozen corn and cook that on the stove or in the microwave. I don't recommend canned corn because a lot of times canned vegetables have a lot of salt in them. So you just want to be careful or rinse it off really well if you're going to use anything canned. Alright, so as far as blackberry in the book, it says that blackberry reduces inflammation, it fights infection and boosts immunity, and it promotes healthy skin. And then for raspberry, it says that it can help manage diabetes and has an anti-inflammatory. It's rich in vitamin C, K, E, magnesium, iron, copper, folate, and it's high in fiber. Alright, and then zucchini is great to put in your chop because it improves digestion, it has anti-inflammatory properties, it boosts the immune system, helps improve liver function and detoxification, it's a high source of antioxidants and vitamin C, and it's a good source of energizing B vitamins. So zucchini is one of Archie's favorites. So definitely a great book. I recommended it in my What Archie Eats video. I got this on Barnes & Noble. I had to have them special order it. You can also get it on Amazon. It's just like 20-something dollars. I'll have a link for this below as well. Archie is taste testing everything. For the quinoa that I use this brand. It's a Bob's Red Mill brand. So I got this at Hy-Vee in the health section. Something else that I'm going to add to the chop today is flaxseed meal. In the past I've used actual flax seeds, but I read that birds don't actually pay much attention to flaxseed when it's in whole form, that it's better to give them the meal. So we're going to try that and mix that into their chop as well today. It's packed with plant protein, fiber, B vitamins, minerals, and it is an amazing source of omega-3 fatty acids. Alright, so our quinoa is done in the microwave, so I'm going to pull that out and I'm going to put it off to the side where Archie can't touch it because the bowl is going to be pretty hot. Alright, so now we can go ahead and put our vegetables that are in our micro cooker in the microwave. I cook them for about 3.5 minutes in there so that they steam. And I'm going to go ahead and cut up the kale into smaller pieces for when it goes into the food processor. Alright, and then for my food processor, I got this on Amazon. Once again, I'll have a link below. So you just put the food inside of it and then you pull the handle for it to spin the blade inside to cut up the food. So important to keep Archie away from this because it does have sharp blades in it. And this is a fairly small food processor, so I'm going to kind of do rounds for this, especially because some of my birds prefer smaller bites versus my larger birds like bigger chunks. So I'm going to do some of theirs. I'll do some smaller in this round, and then the next round I'll leave the chunks a little bit bigger. What you doing there? Alright, so the vegetables are finished steaming in the microwave. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of them in for this batch for the smaller birds. I'm going to use the spoon so that I'm not touching it directly and burn myself. Got some zucchini, got some Brussels sprouts, got some red pepper, and some carrots. Alright, put in a little bit more kale in here, put on our lid, and we'll start processing. And Archie is still sampling the kale over here. looking really good so far. You can see that. So, take the blade out. And this is Archie, Toodles, and BB's mix because they're smaller. They like the smaller pieces. It smells good too. Now sometimes I also put like dill or cilantro in their chop as well. I grow those herbs myself in my Aero garden, but I started over with my Aero garden because you do that every once in a while. You have to start over with a new plant. So I'm still waiting for those seeds to get here. And then I will be able to start growing it again. So I added some of the quinoa in here. I need more quinoa just to balance this out. Here's what our chop looks like. It's pretty hot, so I'm not going to let Archie sample it just yet. But we're going to go ahead and put in the rest of the vegetables for the other birds to make their larger size chop. I'm going to use my spoon. It's still a bit hot. Put in my berries. Also put kale. Do you want me to leave out a piece for you to nibble on? Just in case. You gotta save room for your dinner though, mister. I work real hard on this. And then if you have extras, you can refrigerate it and use it the next day. You can even freeze it and use it over a long period if you want to make like a large batch of chop. So that way you're not doing this process, you know, every night. This one has a lot in it. Let's see how they look. They're pretty good. Could be a little smaller. Alright, just a couple more cups. Because like I said, they like theirs a little on the chunkier side. Be very careful working with food processors because their blades are very sharp. So if you're on the younger side, you should definitely have your parents help you with this. Alright, so there's our larger size chunks for Jackie the African Grey and Evie the Kaik. And let's get this in a bowl and mix it with some quinoa. Alright, now let's go ahead and add our ground flaxseed meal. It's not an exact science, so I'm just going to sprinkle some in, mix it up. So when it comes to seeds, some seeds are better than others for your birds. Things like flax seeds and chia seeds are going to be better for your birds than something like millet, which is just really high in fat. Now we're going to add in some oats. And then in the small birds batch, I'm also going to add some rolled oats and some ground flax meal. And get that stirred up. And this should be pretty cool here soon. Another thing that you can add, I've talked about in my other videos, is the Extra Boost from Christine's Chop Shop. You can also add the Christine's Chop Shop Healthy Bird Anti-Inflammatory Blend. This has Ceylon cinnamon, turmeric powder, ground ginger, cayenne pepper, rose hips, milk thistle, and bee pollen. So we'll sprinkle some of that in there, along with our calcium boost. And mix that up. Looking pretty tasty. Yeah, do you want to try some? I think it's cool enough. I'm going to test it with my finger. Yep, it's cool enough. And this is the Archie blend. Do you want to try some? Oh, got an oat there. Is that pretty tasty? Yeah? Alright, Bunny, are you ready to eat some dinner? I think it's all ready. Did you help today? Oh, kissy break. It's kissy break time. Now, something that I do sometimes to help get Archie to eat is I'll take whatever it is I want him to eat and I'll pretend like I'm eating it. And it sounds really silly when I do that, but it gets him really interested to try it. And a little jealous. Mmm, yummy. Is that good? Is it good? Alright, let's go ahead and serve this up to the birds so they can have their supper. Aw, you just flung it everywhere. You're so silly. But I love you. Alright, let's put it in your bowl so we can eat. Alright, thanks for joining us on our channel today. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe to see more videos. We're almost to 200 subscribers, which is a small milestone, but a milestone nonetheless. And we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel to see more videos. That would mean a lot to us. Until then, we will see you next time.